Welcome y'all to Robin on the Farm. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful little rustic loaf of fresh milled flour sourdough bread. This is a fantastic loaf for beginner sourdough bakers because it's so easy. There's no stretch and folds, and I've really made it an uncomplicated, simple sourdough process. So try out this recipe, it is great. Now, if you're new to sourdough and you haven't made a starter yet, or you're struggling to get your sourdough starter established, then I have a shortcut for you. This is Millie. This is my fresh milled flour sourdough starter that I started years ago, and I make lots and lots of bread with her. I have freeze-dried my sourdough starter. So you can get this freeze-dried fresh milled sourdough starter on my website. It's robinonthefarm.com. I'll leave a link below. But if you need a shortcut to your sourdough, you can reconstitute this sourdough starter and be making bread like this in just a few days. Also on my website, we have our new beeswax bread bags, and these are fantastic for storing your sourdough bread in. It just gives you the best texture to your crust. But let's get back to the bread. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful small loaf of sourdough bread using fresh milled flour. So let's just get started. To get started on our small rustic loaf of sourdough bread made with fresh milled flour, I'm going to use my scale, but I'm also going to give you the measurements in cups and spoons in case you rather do it that way. So to get started, make sure that your scale is on grams and it's zeroed out. And I'm going to start with my sourdough starter. This is my sourdough starter made with fresh milled flour. This is my hard winter white wheat sourdough starter. This is some good stuff. Now, if you need a sourdough starter, on the website, this starter is Millie, my freeze-dried fresh milled sourdough starter. Millie is named after one of my great-great-grandmothers, and it's just fun to name your sourdough starter. So be sure to name your sourdough starter if you haven't. Okay, to get started, I'm going to use 90 grams of this fresh milled flour sourdough starter. So I'm just going to put it right on into my bowl. Now, if you're measuring in cups, that's about ½ a cup. This is always the hardest part, trying to get the exact right amount in there. Okay, that's about right. So 90 grams or ½ a cup of this fresh milled flour sourdough starter. Now, if you don't have fresh milled flour sourdough starter, it's okay. You can use regular sourdough starter that's made with unbleached flour. That is totally fine too. You don't have to use it like this. So any kind of sourdough starter will work. Now I'm going to zero out my scale, and now I went 200 grams of warm water. This is about 3/4 of a cup of water, and you want it to be about 100 degrees. You don't want it to be too cool or too hot to kill your wild yeast. So I'm going to go 200 grams. And like I said, that is 3/4 of a cup. Now I like to go ahead and give this sourdough starter and the water a good mix. It just makes it a little bit easier to mix in your flour and your other ingredients if this is already mixed together really well. Using my spurtle, I love to use spurtles and Danish dough whisks when I'm making sourdough bread. They just work a lot better, but you can use a wooden spoon, a regular spoon, whatever you want. But this is just fun to use, and it really works really well. Now, just a few minutes ago, I got out my hard winter white wheat berries and my Nutri-Mill wheat grinder, and I ground up this fresh milled flour. Doesn't that look nice? So I ground up 160 grams of fresh milled flour. So I'm going to add that to my bowl. Zero out your scale. This is about 1 1/4 cups of fresh milled flour. So I'm just going to add that to my bowl. There we go. So had a little tiny bit extra, but that is 160 grams of berries and 160 grams of fresh milled flour. Now, if you want to, you can make this loaf of sourdough bread totally with fresh milled flour. Today, I'm going to do half fresh milled flour and half bread flour, and I'll just tell you why. My family just likes it better that way. I really prefer it all fresh milled flour because of the health benefits. but I want my family to eat it. They love my fresh milled flour sandwich bread and lots of other things that are completely made with fresh milled flour, but when it comes to their sourdough bread, they really like it half and half. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this is a suggestion for you. If you've never made fresh milled flour sourdough bread, but you've eaten a lot of regular sourdough bread, I suggest kind of easing into it. Using half and half is a great start. So I'm going to use 160 grams of bread flour in addition to the 160 grams of fresh milled flour. So that's about 1 1/4 cups. Okay, that's pretty close. So I'm going to zero out my scale again. So if you're going to use all fresh milled flour, you're going to use 320 grams of fresh milled flour or 2½ cups. Now, the next 2 ingredients are optional, but I think they're essential. I like to use this vital wheat gluten when I use fresh milled flour in my sourdough bread. It just really helps the rise, the texture, the crumble, really improves it. So this is vital wheat gluten, and I'm going to use 6 grams or 2 teaspoons of this vital wheat gluten. So make sure your scale is zeroed out. 6 grams, pretty close. And next I'm going to use some dough enhancer. If you don't have dough enhancer, then just use the vital wheat gluten. That works fine, but this dough enhancer is really great. It just gives you a smoother texture to this sourdough bread that's made with fresh milled flour. So I'm going to use 6 grams or 2 teaspoons again. Oh, let me zero out my scale really quick. Okay. So it's about 2 teaspoons or 6 grams. There we go. Now I keep my dough enhancer and my vital wheat gluten in my freezer, and I get it out right in time to bake with it, and it just stays good forever that way, because I really don't use that much of it. So that's what I suggest. If you get these 2 products, put them in your freezer and they will stay good for a good long time. Okay, I'm gonna zero out my scale, and next we want some salt. I'm gonna use this Redmond's real salt. This is a fine ancient sea salt, and I'm going to use 8 grams of salt. That's about 1½ teaspoons. Make sure your scale is on 0. I want 8 grams or 1½ teaspoons. Okay, oh, pretty close. Okay, and those are all of the ingredients to this rustic sourdough loaf made with fresh milled flour. Now, I'm going to give this a really good mix. I'm going to use my spurtle. Like I said, a Danish dough whisk is great, a wooden spoon. And you're going to mix this together. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, and you just want this to come together into a nice shaggy dough where there's no dry patches of flour left. And what I like to do after a couple minutes of stirring and getting it as good as I can with my spurtle, then I ditch the spurtle and I go in with my hands. And you just kind of squeeze it, and it just helps incorporate all of the ingredients really well together. But now that it's all worked together like that, I'm going to let this bulk ferment on my countertop for anywhere from 3 to 12 hours. However long you want to go, let it work for you in your day. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap so that it doesn't dry out. And I'm just going to leave it on my counter until it's time to do the next step, which will be shaping. So I'll show it to you in about, I usually let it go about 3 or 4 hours, so I'll show it to you then. Okay, my dough has been bulk fermenting on the countertop for about 4 hours, and it's looking really good. Now, we're going to do 1 set of stretch and folds for this easy fresh milled flour sourdough bread. So we're going to take an edge of the dough like this and just pull it over on itself. Your dough should be sticky and stretchy, and it should feel good. So if you need to use both hands, go ahead and do that, but you're just going to take it from one side and pull it to the other side, and you're going to feel your dough totally transform as you do this. It's going to go from just kind of a blob of dough to a nice ball of dough. You can even see how it's changing in texture just by sight, but you can really feel it as you do this. It's getting harder to stretch. It's not as stretchy as it was right at the beginning. And that is about all there is to it. Okay, so now that we've done this, I'm just gonna flip this ball of dough over. I'm just gonna leave it in this bowl. Now I'm gonna cover up my dough so it doesn't dry out again. And now you have some options. You can either leave this on the counter for an hour and let it rest and then score the dough and throw it in the oven to bake. Or you can throw it into your refrigerator and leave it in there for a few hours until you're ready to bake it in time for dinner. Or you can throw it in the refrigerator and leave it in there overnight, up to a few days before you're ready to bake it. Those are all great options. I do like putting it in my refrigerator for a few hours. You get a little bit better oven spring, which is the oven rise, when it's cold and then you put it in the oven to bake. But do whatever works for you. If you're ready to eat this with your dinner in a few hours, then just let it rest on your countertop and then bake it. But it is a good option if you don't want to bake this tonight, maybe it's late, that you can put it in your refrigerator and just bake it tomorrow. So I will show it to you when it's time to score this dough, and then it'll be time to bake it. Now it's time to score the dough. Now you'll notice these aren't my hands, these are my daughter's hands. She does all of the sourdough scoring in our family because she is the one that likes to be creative. So you're gonna start by putting a little bit of flour on top of your sourdough. This can be rice flour, that's what's traditionally used in sourdough. And then she's gonna use this lom, and she's just gonna cut down about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick into the dough, and this is scoring. This gives it a pretty appearance, but it also controls where the gases are released so that your bread doesn't burst or overexpand while it's baking. So don't skip the scoring step thinking that it's just to make your bread look pretty. It's not. It has a really important purpose. Now, after you're done scoring your bread, it's time to bake the bread. So I like to do a cold bake. And when you do a cold bake, it's when you put it in the oven cold, not preheated. And this allows for a greater oven spring, which contributes to a better crumb and texture for your sourdough bread. Plus, it's just easier to not have to handle a hot Dutch oven. So I put my dough inside a well-oiled Dutch oven. You can also use parchment paper if you'd rather do that. And I put it in my oven, and then I turned my oven up to 450 degrees. Then I let my bread bake for 40 minutes. Then I took the top off, and I turned the oven temperature down to 425 degrees. Then I just wanted my bread to brown on the top, so I let it go another 8 to 10 minutes. And there it is. Doesn't that look nice? A small rustic loaf of sourdough bread made with fresh milled flour. It doesn't get much better than that. Okay, my bread has been cooling, and it's time to cut into it. Oh, doesn't that look good? Okay, let's go ahead and cut into the middle, just like you have to do with sourdough bread. Okay. Let's check out the crumb. Oh, what a nice crumb for this sourdough bread. It's a rustic, fresh milled flour sourdough bread. Oh, and it's just so cute. I love this small size. I'm going to use my bow knife to cut a little bit off the side. I'm just going to take a little bite of this tiny little piece. It's so good. I love breads made with fresh milled flour. They are just so wholesome, so delicious, so much healthier than the stuff made with white flour. So I just love this bread. This is a great healthy bread. I will leave the recipe down in the description. And if you're interested in any of the freeze-dried fresh milled flour sourdough starter, I'll have that on my website. There'll be a link below. And also for our really cute bread bags. I like to store all of my sourdough bread in these beeswax bread bags. Just keeps them nice and fresh, keeps them from molding, gives them the perfect crust for the sourdough breads. Thank you so much for being here with me on Robin on the Farm. I will see you next time.
Robin's in the kitchen, dough beneath her hands, wheat from the fields and eggs from her land. Sunlight through the window, a warm golden glow. She's working hard to make that dough. With flour on her apron loving each need, ground wheat fresh, sowing her seed. The smell of fresh bread rises in the air. Simple life without a care. In Robin's kitchen, dreams come alive. Each loaf of bread a reason to strive. From sunrise to sunset, her heart's on show, working hard to make the dough.